What's going on YouTube? This is Pac Jaw from Team Galaxy Gaming coming at you with a deck profile. This is for my Zefra Endymion pendulums. I ended up going to the Philadelphia Regional this past weekend, and I was doing really well. I only had 2 bad matchups that I lost. I went into the last round against Goki Orchist. Didn't break the entire day. Like, when I say that I literally did not open up bad at all, I didn't open up bad at all. Everything that I had in hand was capable of doing stuff. It just depended on if my opponent had hand traps and whatnot. And I believe this is definitely one of the most consistent builds of Pendulum that exists out there. Like, I'm not even boasting, I'm just saying, like, hands down, I didn't break it all the entire day, except, of course, the last round of the last match of the entire day, where all I had to do was open up my full combo and I would have won, but unfortunately my hand was so bad and unplayable that I couldn't do anything. The only thing I could do was what I'll get to later. I'll explain when I show you the deck. But unfortunately I ended the day at X3, but luckily for me, it was a 10-round tourney. And it was top 64, and I placed 47th place, which I'm happy. I can't be mad at any way. I got my invite really early this year. It was the first regional, of the competitive season, so I'm happy to get that out of the way and not have to, rush to try to get my invite. I can actually just enjoy, playing in tourneys in general and hope for the best. But anyway, without further ado, I'm going to go into the deck profile. I'm going to explain it a little bit. I'm not going to get too in-depth with it because for the most part, people understand what pendulums do and, the Endymions. If anything, a lot of people don't know what Zefra cards do. All day, a lot of people had to keep stopping and reading my cards, which sucked because, like, at least 5 or 6 out of the games that I played in the day all went to time, and I literally had to OTK with like 2 minutes remaining. And it was very difficult because, my opponent's trying to read my cards, and I could tell he's stalling, and I had to keep going. I had to explain like extremely fast just so I could get my play off to OTK them because they knew it was coming. But anyway, guys, without further ado, I'm going to go to my deck profile, and explain a little bit as I go. But anyway, on to the main deck, which is 40 cards. Like I said, I kept it as consistent as possible because the deck is very strong, but it needs to be extremely reliable, and I feel like this is the better version that I've been playing, and I was able to play through like tons of hand traps, so I definitely believe it's the better build in my opinion. It really worked for me, in other words. Anyway, I played 2 Zefra. This is hands down the best Zefra card you play in the engine. First of all, it's like Electromite. You get to put a Zefra card face up in your extra deck, and then it becomes that scale. For the most part, you're putting the Yang Zing Zefra card there because he gets you a lot of searches and gets you to the counter trap eventually. So Zefra is very, very good. You don't use his monster effect because you never really summon him, but it is a possibility, and it can get you a second pendulum summon, but like I said, never did that today. Probably could have, but it's not really worth it. Anyway, one Necros Zefra guy. He's, for the most part, just a 7 scale, but he's also something that I can pull out from the deck, dragon-wise, from LP, if I already have the Strudo Engrave, and he's also very good for the fact that, he's easy pendulum summonable, and if I pen him out and one of the Dark Worms, I'm usually guaranteed to get my LP, especially if they, somehow get the Dark Worm rid of. I still have a dragon left over, so he's more or less just like a filler, but he comes up a lot, believe it or not. One of the, Secret Yang Zing guy, like I was just saying, he's, in my opinion, like, extremely necessary. You need to see him, you need to resolve his effect, because Searching Zephyr Providence, which I'll get to later, is like the best spell in the deck, in my opinion, like one of the best spells, because it really keeps your engine going, and it's just very, very strong, and it gets you to your counter trap if you don't already have it. Zephyr Wendy's your recursion. She's really busted just because you can add back the Yang Zing guy, and then it frees up space for, like, if I was able to get Electromite without normal summoning, and I would have her in hand, and I already put this in my face of extra deck, I can add this back to hand, and then be able to pen the summon out over here, and then have 2 extra spots with it, because normally I usually pen him in the Dark Worm, but if I have her, I don't have to do that, and I can free up space to pen something else out, and continue the combo and do more things. On to the last bit of Zephyrs I play one of the Stellar Knights, Zaiton, and one of the Stellar Knights, Zephyr Thubin. These are really busted simply because there's a combo you can do that's really, really well that I was actually told by a friend and actually won me a game. So if you pen both of these guys out at the same time and you have a Zefra Providence engraved from last turn, you activate both their effects. This pops a set card and this pops a face-up card, but they have to destroy a Zefra card in order to do that. So you target both and then pop both. However, if you have Zefra Providence engraved, it's basically Return of the Dragon Lords the turn after you activate it. So you special both of these guys off a pen summon. Zefra Wendy's really good for that too, because you can normal her, add back one, and then pen both of them out if you don't have the space to do in the first place. They target each other, and then you save them with Zefra Providence, and you get 2 pops. That, believe it or not, came up once at least, and it was really helpful and it helped me, push for the game to get over a lot of what my opponent had. But that does it for the Zefra engine. It was super strong. I don't think I would change anything about it, honestly. Like I said, I feel really confident with this deck. Like, the one game that I lost to Sky Striker was because of a misplay. I actually should have probably won that, and then I don't feel bad about losing to the Ed deck, the extra deck Draco, because of Floodgates. I lost to Dice Roll, Floodgates, Game 2 Super Poly, and then Anti-Spell. There's really nothing I can do about that. Like I said, my last match I really should have won, but I wasn't able to combo off in any way at all. But I'll get to that later about how bad my hand was. Like I said, it was the only brick of the day. Other than that, I probably would have went X2 and definitely got top 16. But it's the past. I'm just happy to get my invite, honestly, realistically. But I'm really happy with this deck. 3 Servant. It's not prolong that. This is definitely the best card in the deck to keep you from getting hand trapped or Nibrewed. If I see this and have a way to manipulate her effect, obviously, to get the counters. Once you get 3 counters, you can remove them as cost, special her from the Pendulum Zone, and then a monster from your deck with 1,000 or more attack, they can have a counter put on it. So you special Jackal, and all day, my 5th summon was Jackal King in this card. So like if they don't have a hand trap to stop this, I special her out and Jackal King at the same time. The effect has to resolve for them to both have a counter. And when they go to Nibber, you just negate it. What had happened with the Sky Striker player is he tried to negate it on the summon, and I was like, hold on, resolving effect, they both get a counter, negate Nibru, and he called it, he was about to call a judge, but I kept explaining, I'm like, it has to resolve the effect. It all happens continuously. You can't chain Nibru until the summon is complete. And the summon wasn't complete yet. So, and I did that like 3 different times. Even though I didn't know if they had Nibiru or not, I still was playing safe just because I know a lot of people can main that in some of their decks, like in the rogue builds and whatnot. And believe it or not, like that won me so many games. Just being able to bring out Jackal King and stop them. And even being able to bring out Jackal King before Electromite is busted. You're like guaranteed to for sure, being able to get your resolving effect, and it's busted. I'm going to finish off the Endymion. It's just one mighty. I don't bring him often. I don't bring him out a lot often from the Endymion Servant's effect. But every once in a while, I would consider it just because, like, against Sky Striker and stuff, he's better than Jackal King. But he only came up a couple times. Like, the main wombo combo that I can usually end on is a Heretic Seal, Vortex, F.A. Dawn, Dragster, Jackal, and him. With the Zefra Divine Strike set, trap set. So, seeing him also with that is like the extra wombo combo, but, that's basically 5 negates with 2 disruptions. But it doesn't happen as often, unfortunately. But it's still really busted if it does happen. I play 3 Dark Worm. Obviously enough, why, it's free. There's so many ways to get it engraved. And then you search the gate 0 to have a free 0 scale, and it's really busted too when you see the Endymion with a way to get this like on the field as well, because once you do the Endymion, you have that 0 scale to end up going into your Pendulum summon, so it's really consistent and helpful in that sense. 3 Chronograph. This is really busted in this deck. You still need to play. Like, I don't play any other Magicians. It's literally just the 3 Chronograph and the Time Gazer. You don't need any other ones for this specific build. There is other builds that obviously play Magicians, and I understand why. But like this build is literally just trying to poop out as many combos as possible, or as many combos as possible to get you into negates and just get you there. And sometimes it's good to put him in your face-up extra deck if you don't already have him in rotation, because sometimes you can like special something and something out of your hand from his other effect before the draw resolution of Electromite, and because sometimes you don't need him as a scale. So he was definitely a really good card for this deck, and I wouldn't cut it at all. It's extremely helpful. Speaking of Jackal King earlier, one Jackal King, you don't need any more. I don't play any other mystical beasts. I was playing originally in a build. I was playing Cerberus, garbage. I every time I activated Cerberus, if I got ashed, I lost the game. So I no longer play Cerberus. You don't need it. I even seen a lot of builds now playing one Cerberus, which that makes more sense because seeing too many Cerberus is obviously garbage, and also the fact that if it gets ashed, it's just like your turn's almost over because it's locked in your scale, and it helps you in zero way. Like a 4 scale is garbage in this build unless you have a bunch of 3s in hand, which is not many, so it's just garbage. I hate Cerberus. I'll never play that in Pendulums again. Honestly, I had too much bad luck. What is this guy? The evil, whatever his name is, I can't remember right. All I know is he's special banish. That's all that matters. Usually, like I said, this is the 2 disruption. When you have the Heraldic Seal, tribute cost, bounce a card, and then special him out and banish the other card. This is so broken against any deck that relies on, full Arcus combo, specialing, or getting 2 monsters on board. This helped me a lot against. I was playing against a guy who was actually using Goblinberg. He was playing like a Dark Warrior spam build, and I won game 1 simply by him just going normal summon Goblinberg, activate special another monster, and I literally just bounced, banished, and he was like game 2. So like, this is really good for decks that rely on getting 2 summons off, because that's an immediate disruption and immediately just stops them from doing anything the rest of the turn if they're relying on that specific combo. So that was hands down is much needed, and you can special from hand too. There was times where like I drew it off Electromite, I was like ooh, but then I remembered the Heraldic Seals from deck or hand, so it doesn't. Regardless of what's going to happen, you're always going to be able to special that card if you need to. One Destrudo. This, is a 100% necessary. You'll see with the extra deck why, especially like this like keeping this in rotation. Like this didn't get banished all day, which was beautiful because like if this would have got banished so many times, I would have lost because this is the OTK. Like this is the OTK starter right here, and you'll see why. I mean, this is literally won me so many games. In other words, this is also an OTK starter. These two, and you'll see from my extra deck, like these two right here, like if at any time in the game would have got banished for whatever reason, like the one Sky Striker player, if I would have lost, or I played 2 Sky Striker, but like if they would have hit these at any point in time, I think I would have lost, like hands down. You'll see why. Those are busted, and I needed those more than anything else in the deck, 100%. On to the spells, that does it for the monsters. I think a total of 23, I believe. Spell Powered Mastery, best card in the deck. Gets you your Endymion Servants, and if you already have it, then you activate this to search Mighty Magic. You just immediately have 2 counters on it, and you're probably already you're guaranteed to have the combo to get Jackal King out immediately. So 100% had to play through that. I just played 2 Zefra Providence. It's the hard once per turn. But it's really busted because it gets you your counter trap that you search off the Yang Zing guy, or it gets you a monster that you might need to, further your combo if you already have the trap. It comes up sometimes, but it's really busted. And like I said, it's Return of the Dragon Lords the turn after it was activated, so it's really busted for your recursion effects with your monsters from that combo that I was saying earlier with the 2 Zefra monsters. 2 Dragon Shrine, obviously for Destrudo and the Dragon Worm, you need those to, get your combo started. 2 Called By. Thank God I almost didn't play Merrimer, and if I wouldn't have not played Merrimer and played a 3rd Called by the Grave, I would have lost all day. Like I said, I'll get to why. Like, hands down, 2 was all I needed. Because like I said, getting Jackal King is already a guaranteed negate, so that's like basically my 3rd Called by. So this was 100% great at 2, and I wouldn't change that at all. Like, shout out to my friend Chris, he was the one that suggested putting that to 2 and play a Merrimer, and yep. Because I almost didn't play it. I don't know why it even came across my mind to not maybe play it, but I'm so glad I just stuck with 2 Called By and won me games all day. 2 Oracle Zefra. You don't need 3, and it's just like, it really, half the time I already draw what I need, so this is just like an extra monster, more or less, that I'm searching. Maybe Zephyr Wendy for recursion. Dragon Ravine, just because, obviously I need to get my Dark Worm and Grave or Destrudo. Set Rotation, this is amazing. I love this card. It won me a game. I played Pran Kid's game round 1 of the tourney, so it was kind of funny when this actually like hurt him. He lost the game because he drew the field spell and no other really recursion, or not recursion, but he that was all he had pretty much, and that I gave him Oracle Zephyr and he just lost. So, excuse me. 1 Terraforming, obviously. 1 Foolish Burial. Obviously, I don't really need to explain that. One upstart, Endymion. You know, it kind of sucks because game 3 I really have to side this back in, especially if I'm going first. I'm trying to get full combo off because like this is just another card to help the Endymion servant go off. Like, because game 3, regardless, if I do full combo, I'm already going to be hurting on life because I'm going to Destrudo like 90% of the time. So upstarting is not going to really matter much because I'm already going to be losing by half life. So giving that extra 1,000, but being able to get another big gate on board, it doesn't really matter because like I said, most of my games went to time. But if they couldn't do anything on their turn, they passed that there. It's OTK, so it doesn't even matter. And then one Zefra Divine Strike, best card in the deck. It's another way to stop Dark World. Dark World or no more. So that's why I think Pendulums just have like the best matchup against those people that are siding that stuff because it just doesn't lose to it autoly like some decks can combo wise. On to the extra deck, one Electromite. For the main, for what it's worth, 16 spells and 1 trap. To finish off the main deck, 40 cards, like I said. One Electromite. I shouldn't really have to explain anything. It's obvious why this is in here. You know, it's the most busted card to get your combos off and really helps you fill your extra deck up with stuff you need to finish the Wombo combo. One Avermax. I made it a couple times against Sky Striker. It's like an auto win. I lost though, unfortunately, to the one Sky Striker because of Mystic Mine. He baited all my stuff and then Mystic Mine me, and I was like, well, I lose. So, you know, but he's still really good to like link down into. So, well, link up, but like climb down so that you can sit on one monster. So, you know, I still had a chance, but it was really slim. I had to draw set rotation, and I didn't. It was my only out. One Borosaur Dragon. It's the OTK. That's another main reason of the OTK. You'll see more in the extra deck why he's also part of that. I mean, it's obviously why, but you'll see like how I get there. Triple Burst for the combo along with Agripain and Elpie. You don't need the one that specials from Grave. You just don't really need it. It doesn't come up at all, so this is all you need. One Hieratic Seal, just because obviously it's for the combo and you float down into it afterwards. One Phoenix and one Underworld Tour Guide chick looking, whatever her name is. Phoenix obviously just because it's linked to pop stuff, help you further the combo depending on what's going on in the field. Didn't come up. I don't think I summoned him once, or I think I summoned him once, but it was literally just because I didn't have something else. I think she's a safer bet if you don't need Electromite. If your extra deck is literally already filled up with everything that you would need, and you don't need that +1 off Electromite, she's what you go into instead, so that you can dodge hand traps, so that you're guaranteed to get your pen summon off. That's pretty much about it. One Link Rebo, you'll see for the combo why. This is a security dragon. All it is a link to that takes 2 monsters, nothing specific, just 2 monsters. And when it is co-linked, when it is link summoned, you can bounce a monster. You can target a monster, opponent's monster you control, and bounce it. This actually won me a game. I wish I had it, but I borrowed it from a friend who last minute decision I put it in. It won me a game, so it was obviously worth it. One of this guy, the Cyber's Quantum Dragon. It's really busted because if I'm going first, game 3, and I think they like side in Pankratops, or like I played a Grand Manju, and believe it or not, this actually won me a game against them because he didn't read its effect and attacked me with a Grand Manju that was like 10,000, and I was like, effect, and he was like, what's it do? And I was like, bounce your guy, and he was like, what? And then it won me a game. So always read this guy. I even made the mistake one time not reading him. Yeah, this guy's really busted. And plus, you can only target him with card effects if you control a link. So this guy's really, really busted. This is the card that like won me like 4 matches, like literally 4 matches in time. Yazi. This is what gets you to the OTK. Like okay, so that's the whole point with the Mare. Most people know this probably, but like, yeah, you pop something. He can't be targeted by card effects, which is really good because most likely you're gonna pop whatever you're targeting him and the other card with. You pop both, and then you special Mare, and then that gets you Borosaur. And 90% of the time, they would play through like my field. They like do this and do that. And sometimes I'd be left with a Vortex, which that happened like 3 different times. And then I just made this on my recursion turn, and then just made Mare and made Borosaur attack for game. And that happened a ridiculous amount of times. And what's good about Security Dragon is like if they have an extra monster that you need off field so you can OTK, you bounce the monster. Like this was hands down the best card of all day. Like I literally won like 3-4 matches like with like 2 minutes left on the time because of Yazi. Like hands down, would not take him out ever again. Almost didn't play him. So stupid. Thank God I had my friends Dylan and Chris, shout out to them, to put some light in my mind and tell me I should definitely be playing this, and it was 100% worth it. One FA Dawn Dragster, it's another negate, easy to make if you don't want to go into him if it's not needed. And then one Vortex Dragon, which is obviously what you would, make off of the Agripane, because it's obviously the better one for Pendulums. On the side, I play 4 tokens, just because, Mare, and sometimes I just need a token, so, obviously. One Quacky Marrow Dragon. This, believe it or not, won me a couple games, just because, not being able to special their dark monsters screwed him over. And, it just ended their turn, because I would just, bounce their normal summon and special this guy, and they couldn't get another special off, and they just lost the game. Quacky Marrow is underrated right now, and he's easy to get off Erratic Seal, and it's free, and it also makes them waste their battle phase if they have to get over it. I mean, it's a 0/0, but they can't special, so it's just really good. 2 Nibiru. This was a last-minute decision to put these in. My only regret is that I didn't put Shifter instead. Shifter, actually, for my matchups that it wouldn't have come up, because I didn't play anything where Shifter would have hurt the deck all like that. But this just didn't really help me at all. I resolved it one time in the day, and out of 10 rounds, and it still didn't matter, because he already had enough combo to play past this. So it just didn't come up. I feel like if I would have played the mirror match, this would have mattered, but unfortunately, it just didn't really help me at all. 2 Ghost Ogre. I didn't side this at all. Believe it or not, 90% of my side, I didn't side any of it, because most of the time I won the dice roll, and I just went first and made them auto scoop, and then game 3 did the same thing after losing game 2. Ghost Ogre, I think I sided against the Sky Striker. Didn't see it, but it's still really good against them, so definitely needed to have some type of destruction for him. 2 Pranker Tops, sided as well, maybe once. Never saw it, but just Pranker Tops, pretty good. Outs Floodgates. Wish I would have maybe, seen it on the anti-spell, but unfortunately it was, I went first, and he seen it on his next turn after he super polyed my crap away and broke my board, so. Yeah, Extra Deck Monarchs definitely have a decent matchup, honestly. 2 Swim Twister. I think I saw it, or no, I didn't. I actually didn't see this. Yeah, another card. Just did not see it all day. I didn't really play against any back row heavy decks other than the Draco. And even then, like I said, I just didn't see it, so it didn't really make any difference. So like I said, most of my side wasn't really used at all, but I mean, it really didn't matter, because if you combo off and push up, 4 negates with 2 disruptions, you kind of just win anyway. 3 Dark Roller, no more. I mean, like I said, play combo all day, but believe it or not, this just didn't come up. I mean, like I swear to God, 90% of my side just did not get sided. It was not relevant for the matchups I had, so it was pretty interesting. 3 Red Reboot, another card I wish I could have sided. If it was relevant, just didn't need it. Because to the true Draco player, you're probably, oh, why didn't you side this in? Well, game 1 I lost because he had border and lose one turn, which that was rough, and it just I couldn't do enough to get over the stuff. He had judgment set and other stuff. I mean, it didn't matter what I did. And then game 2 I went first, But like I said, he broke my board with super poly and other stuff, and then I just couldn't do anything. But yeah, the side, believe it or not, I don't know if I would change anything, just because. I mean, it's still a good side, but it just didn't come up because of the matchups. It was just mostly combo. And realistically, if you win that dice roll, you don't need to side anything for, I sided the stuff in, game 2 when they did their stuff, but it just, if you don't see it, it doesn't matter. So, and I didn't see it. So, anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed my deck profile. Like I said, I don't think I'd really change anything about this deck. Maybe a little bit in the future, depending on, what I see. But, honestly, I just feel like this is the better build. For me personally, and I've had enough practice with it. I feel confident with it, and got me my invite for the beginning of the new year for 2020. Nats is coming year, so I am happy. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the deck profile. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I'd really appreciate that. I'm trying to get a little bit of following and whatnot, but I can hope you enjoy the videos, and you guys have a great evening.